Alright, well, this is going to be my video for today because there's going to be a lot going on probably by the time you guys watch this. For starters, supposedly the Battle for the Grid patch is coming out today. Also, KOF All-Stars is launching tonight. I'm recording this on Monday. It's going to be launching in about 2.5 hours. So I'm going to focus all my content on that for today. But I thought I'd do a little bonus and then give my little thoughts about Indivisible because I'm about to get the Platinum Trophy right now. Or the equivalent on Steam, which is nowhere near as cool. I think I got it. Let's see. Alright, well, I don't know how to get that final trophy, but I basically completed everything in this game. I thought it was a good game overall, but I could tell it's definitely limited by deadlines and things like that. They're already talking about adding, like, whole new super moves to the game and stuff, and there's going to be, I think, like, 8 guest characters. And I think the problem with adding that much stuff to the game is that this is a single-player RPG. As you know, their previous game was Skullgirls, and, you know, the extra DLC characters and balance patches and stuff kept people coming back, but the difference is that that is a competitive fighting game. This is a single-player RPG, so I think it's kind of a shame that they weren't able to put everything out at launch, because a lot of people aren't going to come back. I mean, I personally, I don't know what that last trophy is that I need, but I've accomplished literally everything else in the game, so unless they add all that stuff at once, I'm probably not going to come back. Replay value in this game is pretty weak because there's no new game plus, there's no items, gear, or money. So there's not really a lot of material rewards for doing much of anything really. The side quests do give you some interesting side stories and a little bit of a more character development and backstory on the extra characters, but besides that, there's not really a whole lot. Your character gets a little bit stronger, but by the time you can finish any of those side quests, you've already pretty much beaten the game. Enemies also don't respawn. Also, the characters get a pretty significant, like, static boost whenever Ajna powers up. So at the end of the game, when you get the final power up, pretty much everything will die in one turn. So the side quests pretty much devolve into just running into stuff and then just mashing buttons and everything dies. I think the game is actually the most challenging, maybe up through like the first 30-40%. That's when it feels like there's actually a sense of danger and actually being able to die. But past that, the game is pretty smooth sailing, and they also mentioned that they wanted to balance things more, but they were kind of torn between balancing it for people like me who play pretty much Twitch-based games exclusively, and then people who just like the art style. Obviously, this game is a very beautiful art style. The animation is hand-drawn, and everything looks great. Even the 3D assets in the back, I think, actually look pretty well. They blend pretty well compared to other games, at least. You know, like early 5th generation games, you know, where they had like beautiful 2D sprites, and then the 3D assets looked really grainy. They didn't really fit together. I think everything really molds well together here. But the problem is that they didn't really balance it for people who are good at Twitch-based games. So it does feel legitimately challenging at the beginning, but then that just goes away really quickly. The Switch port is still delayed. I'm not sure what's going on with that. Maybe they're having performance issues. You know, the same publisher, they're the ones that were partially responsible for the Bloodstained Switch port, and that still has not been fixed to this day. Like, it's been like almost 6 months now that port still barely functions. So I could definitely say I'd recommend this game, but I honestly feel like it's probably better to wait until they have at least some of this other stuff done. As right now, the problem is the enemies don't respawn. The only thing that's challenging that really respawns is the post-game boss, which I haven't bothered to fight yet, but a lot of the other enemies don't come back, so it's kind of odd how they're going to be adding, like, 8 new characters to the game. And anybody who was an original adopter, be it somebody who backed the Indiegogo campaign or someone who just bought it at launch like me, there's not really going to be a whole lot for them to use it on. Ideally, I would like it if they add a New Game Plus. I think a New Game Plus in this game, for it to even have any value at all, would need to let you play as any character from the start of the game. There are some games that do that. Some of the more recent Tales games from like the PS2 era, they had the Naughty Kitty dolls, which lets you play as anybody at any time. Tales Rebirth also let you do that too, as far as I know. I think that's definitely what this game needs, because if it was just carrying over the stats, then the game would be even easier than it already is. I think just allowing you to make team compositions from the start would at least give adding new characters and new supers and stuff some merit. But right now, it feels kind of pointless. I hope that they'll structure things better. Maybe they'll have some post-game content. I know that there was supposed to be a backer stretch goal for alternate endings, but that didn't get met. Apparently, they're not even aware how well it sold, so that may impact some decisions. But honestly, I mean, it's cool that they're going to have like Shovel Knight and and Juan from Guacamelee, since I did beat both of those games. But I'm not really going to care to play them if I have literally nothing to fight them with besides the post-game boss. So if you're interested in the game, I definitely recommend putting it in your wish list and maybe waiting for a sale, keeping an eye on things. There are several characters in the game that they just don't have a super at all, like Yan. She can't use meter in any way, so she feels very incomplete compared to Naga Rider, who is basically the same character. He's just slower, but he has some of the most damaging supers in the game. So things like that are already apparently going to be fixed, but I don't know when. Obviously, they're a small team, and it's hard for them to really churn stuff out. So we'll see what happens, but I probably won't be playing this much more until it gets updated. I don't know when or if that will happen anytime soon, but I'll keep you guys posted. Anyway, stay tuned for the rest of my content today. This is just kind of a filler video until the rest of that stuff comes out, being the KOF All-Stars global launch, and then the Quantum Ranger will hopefully come out today as well. Peace.